I don't like any civilian death.
Do you mind if I answer
I don't endorse any civilian death.
Well, no.
Do
You
I
don't condemn it, though.
Hang on.
Yeah.
No, and here's why.
Piers Morgan had Muhammad Hijab up on the channel. I just seen his interview with Shapiro. Yeah, I mean, so I'm very curious to see how this interview is going to go. You know what I'm saying? Because Muhammad is very pro-Palestine, and I know Piers Morgan is taking like the middle ground, but to me it seems like he's very pro-Israel, at least based on how it looked from his last interview with Shapiro. So I'm definitely interested to see how this debate's going to go, and yeah, let's dive on in.
Let me ask you this. Where were you when you heard about what happened on October the 7th?
I was at home.
What was your reaction when you heard?
I was actually very sickened by it. And this is something I do want to put on the table because I think it's fair for people to know this. In our religion, we do not believe, okay, as a Muslim, I am a Muslim, and I do not believe in the killing of any man, woman, or children, non-combatants. That is not despite the religious teachings. That is because of the religious teachings. So in terms of condemning Hamas and just jumping straight into it, I condemn not only Hamas, but any other entity, okay, wherein it's proven that this has been done, that the killing of combatants has been done. Therein, I condemn any party that does it. Any party that kills people or strikes at people where it's more probable than not that it will hit a civilian target, I condemn them. And that's why I condemn the IDF. Because when they strike, they know that it's more probably than not going to hit civilian targets. They know that the majority of civilians, or the majority of people that are going to be affected, are civilians. We know that from the various operations that have been conducted. We know that because now in Gaza you find that there is a blockade, as you know, for 17 years, but also they're stopping them from electricity, water, which is a war crime under Geneva 4 of the Geneva Convention, Protocol 4 of the Geneva Convention. So this is something I'm surprised you didn't actually mention to the ambassador.
Well, I did mention it.
You didn't say it's a war crime.
Well, I think it's an arguable point whether it's a war crime.
Okay, let me ask you now then.
They are saying Israel, at the moment, Israel is adamant they are not breaching war crimes, right? It will be determined.
But if we could,
well, it will be determined whether that's the case.
No, sorry.
That's incorrect. Mohammed, let me just make a point to you back on that. I think surely we can agree that what happened on October the 7th was a war crime. I mean, when people are taking grandmothers and executing them, kidnapping young children, when they're killing babies in their cribs, we can agree that's war crime, right?
Okay, babies.
Can we?
Surely, of course, 100%.
Right.
But babies in the crib. Sorry, what was the evidence for that?
You don't believe that happened?
Sorry, CNN, the White House, Sky News, which you work for, all say something.
I don't work for Sky News.
Well, your thing.
I did work at CNN. I saw one reporter who retracted it because she wasn't sure about the source.
It's unconfirmed by the White House.
But then the Daily Telegraph and the Jerusalem Post and other sources then did publish pictures.
So Muhammad just sat here, condemned Hamas in their terrorist act of shooting into Israel like that and taking all those lives. Put the ball in Pierce's court, and Pierce can't answer the question about how he feels in regards to Israel's response in taking countless civilians' lives. That don't sound very middle ground to me, bruh.
CNN,
which indisputably showed babies have been killed.
No, it showed one baby who's been charred, and that picture has been put up on Twitter and has been refuted by many people saying that it's actually AI.
That's completely untrue.
That is true. What's your source? What's your source?
There's been a thorough investigation into the claim that was put up there by some rogue person on Twitter that it was AI. It has been completely disproven.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
That picture, which was published on the Telegraph, is a genuine, legitimate picture.
What is your source?
Are you seriously arguing that babies weren't killed?
No, I didn't say that.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying, give me a source.
Yeah.
You know full well you've been fired from the Daily Mirror for fake images. So you know full well about the
I didn't accept they were faked.
Exactly. The UK government did.
Yeah, they did.
Aha.
Because the UK government, just to be clear,
Sure.
had waged, in my view, an illegal war in Iraq.
So you're allowed to go against the government, and I'm not allowed to go against the Israeli government?
Of course you're allowed to.
So tell me now, what's the source?
You seem to be making a lot of presumptions about me, Mohammed.
Yes, I had softball questions.
I was
for
the
your
editor.
Ambassador of
No, they weren't. I put all the questions to the ambassador. I was editor of the Daily Mirror when we opposed the Iraq war on the grounds that I believed it was an illegal war.
Yeah.
I still believe that to this day. I think it stained this country.
Fantastic.
I don't think you even knew that.
I did know that.
Right.
But that's not the point I was making. I was making the point that if you're allowed to go against the government in their classification of an image, then if you have pro-Palestinian activists who are saying, actually, we need to see a source, shouldn't they be entitled to that?
The Daily Telegraph published on page 3.
Should they be entitled to that, yes or no?
Talking about, the Daily Telegraph said they had independently verified the picture, Mohammed.
No, excuse me.
If you're saying that their verification is wrong...
No, excuse me. Primary source in academia, I know you've done a journalism degree, which is, frankly, is not relevant to what we're talking about here anyway.
Probably is to journalism, yeah.
No, it's not to this conflict. But we academics require primary source evidence in order to make it.
The Daily Telegraph said. The Daily Telegraph said they verified the picture.
That's a secondary source.
You may say
that's secondary source.
You may say
that's a secondary source.
Well, you may say you don't think.
First of all, people sitting here acting like he don't know what propaganda is, man. Like for me, I don't know if that image was real or fake. I've seen both sides of the damn spectrum, each trying to discredit each side, man. But the possibility that this may not be real is the glaring issue. And you see Piers here just running with the narrative that it is true wholeheartedly based on what someone said, because these people said it was true. And that's the oldest trick in the book. And we're looking for sources. That's a valid question for anybody to fucking ask, because if that damn picture is not real, and the damning impression that's going to place on people believing that Hamas did that when it's all artificial is an enormous problem. It's not crazy to think that this picture was artificially made for that purpose, right? But we're just running with narratives from what the Telegraph said, because they are the one all be all. They said it's been verified, that it's been verified, when Cuz just said the White House didn't verify it.
You may say you don't think it's genuine. I don't agree with you. But the wider point...
That was my point. I said I want a source. I just want to see the evidence.
What we're arguing about here. You're not contesting that babies were killed.
No, I'm saying I want to see the evidence.
So why are you picking on the semantics of the veracity of one picture, which has been verified by British journalists? Why are you picking on that?
British journalists are
some
not an
example
authority.
of somehow this wasn't as bad as it seemed.
British journalists are not an academic authority.
But there's babies were killed on both sides. The photo of the charred baby is present, but that doesn't minimize the fact that babies and children have been murdered or killed on both sides. Maybe the picture is fake, but does that take away the fact that babies weren't killed by Hamas? No, but then does that take away the fact that Israel didn't kill Palestine babies?
Putting this issue to the side, I think you're trying to use this as a red herring to move away from the bigger issues.
What red herring?
This is a red herring because already 1,023 children have been killed in Gaza. That's why. And you didn't ask the ambassador that question.
I literally asked the ambassador.
No,
I said 3,000 people have already been killed in a week
in
Gaza.
Well, you didn't ask her whether she
even listen to my interview with the ambassador?
I did listen, but excuse me.
Well, don't put words in my mouth or say I didn't ask a question.
Let me ask you a question. Do you condemn the killing of those children by the IDF?
I tell you what I condemn.
Yes or no?
I'm going to answer your question honestly and truthfully.
Sure.
And because I've tweeted about this, right?
Oh, okay.
I think that what happened on October the 7th was one of the worst atrocities I have ever had to read about or watch on video.
It happens every day in Palestine.
No.
So why do you care about that?
It actually doesn't. It doesn't.
It does actually.
Yes. No. The Israeli forces.
I've got the stats for that.
Israeli forces do not go.
Cast-led,
Wait a minute,
protective
Mohammed.
edge. Go and check it out.
Mohammed. Israeli forces.
Cast-led, protective edge.
Israeli forces don't go into Gaza on one day and grab grandmothers and kill babies in their beds.
Okay.
And
hold on.
Rape and abuse women.
So, rape, is there any evidence for that?
It's been multiple reports in multiple mainstream media publications. Well, you're going to sit here and deny everything.
No,
right?
I'm not denying anything.
You are.
No, I accept that some civilians.
Yeah, it sounds like Piers is just believing everything he's seeing online, man. There's so much propaganda out there. Clearly, people are being raped. Clearly, children are being murdered. But they're definitely painting images online to paint a narrative. Right? When both sides are complicit and fucking each other up, bro. Both of them are. Like, to me, all Muhammad is doing is just questioning the sources. But if you could provide me a source of this, then cool. But we can't sit here and act like people are not making up shit to make you feel as strongly as you feel about that. Hamas killed a bunch of Israelis in that attack, yes, but how many fucking people have Israel killed?
I do accept this. And I already said...
You don't believe any of the reports that women were raped?
No, I didn't say that. I said that it's still to be
Do you
verified.
think they were raped?
No, I don't know. It's like the Russell Brand thing. You said you don't know. You need to see the evidence. So why do you apply two different standards?
I'm saying
so
it's been reported.
When it's Israel, we know they're raped. When it's Russell Brand, you don't know because you're friend.
No, it's been reported by legitimate news sources.
When it's Israel, you know they're raped. But when it's Russell Brand, you don't know.
Them.
When it's Russell Brand, you don't know if they're raped.
There's no comparison between Russell Brand and what's happened
It's the same thing. It's a rape allegation. Why are you stuttering?
I'm not stuttering.
You are stuttering. You don't have anything
You're
to say.
contesting every single thing that I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
the
saying
point
to
of
you,
an argument.
at the end, 1,300 people were brutally
2,000
murdered,
people have been killed on the other side.
abused.
2,000 people have been killed on the other side.
I said that to the ambassador.
Okay, but do you condemn that, yes or no?
I don't think...
So you refuse to condemn?
No.
You do refuse to condemn?
Why are you putting words in my mouth?
You're not condemning it, though,
condemning
bro.
it, are you?
What do you want me to condemn?
Condemn? Okay,
right.
excellent. What do I want you to condemn?
Yes.
What do you want me to condemn? Like, come on, bro. That's a dumbass question, bro. Condemn the killing of innocents in Gaza Strip as well. You condemn it in Israel. Why don't you condemn it in Gaza? This ain't like it was a one-off. This isn't like it's the first strike ever into Israel, right? This has been a tennis match for decades now, right? But the fact that he's avoiding answering that, bro.
You're not condemning it, are you?
What do you want me to condemn?
Israel's
right.
Excellent. What do I want you to condemn?
Yes.
I want you to condemn the fact that the IDF, knowing that it's more probable than not, pressing buttons from the sky, killing innocent civilians, 1,000 of them children, that is a war crime and that is not acceptable morally. Just like you condemn the other one. Is it condemnable or not?
I believe, given the scale of what Hamas did on October the 7th,
ahead,
Israel is entitled to
kill
defend...
children.
No, that's not what I said.
Go ahead.
They're entitled to defend themselves with force.
Okay,
Then
excellent.
the question becomes, Mohammed, it's an interesting debate.
Sure.
If, as it seems to me, you believe too,
Go on.
Hamas are not a force for good, do you believe that?
Well, I think that anybody who kills children and those elements of Hamas who are killing children...
Right, so we can agree. So we agree. So my point is, if Israel's purpose is to rid the world of Hamas after the atrocity of October the 7th, how do they do that, given that Hamas embeds itself in civilian areas in the way that it does? Everyone knows that in Gaza.
Okay.
How do they do that in this surgically clean way that you seem to think they should be doing?
Okay, can I say...
Man, he justifying the murder of Palestinian children. That's what he just did. Like they had to. What else could they do? What other course of action could they take to get rid of Hamas besides killing women and children? That's what he just said, bro. I can never get to that point where, you know, our innocence was killed, so I'm going to go kill their innocence. I condemn it on both sides, and I'm definitely condemning fucking Pierce's stance on it when he's refusing to condemn the killing of innocent children and women. Well, I mean, it shouldn't surprise me. I heard the fucking Israeli president say it, bro. Like, he said that everybody in Gaza is an enemy, pretty much. There's no such thing as a innocent Palestinian in Gaza.
It's an entire nation out there that is responsible. It's not true. This rhetoric about civilians not aware, not involved, it's absolutely not true. They could have risen up. They could have fought against that evil regime which took over Gaza in a coup d'etat.
Okay.
How do they do that in this surgically clean way that you seem to think they should be doing?
Okay, can I say...
How do you not kill civilians?
Beautiful. I
don't like any civilian death.
Do you mind if I answer the question?
I don't endorse any civilian death.
Well, no. You don't condemn it, though.
Hang on.
Yeah.
No, and here's why. Because I support Israel's right to defend itself.
Beautiful.
Now,
can I say something?
No, one more point. So then you can reply.
Sure.
But the question then becomes, what is proportionate?
Okay.
What is a proportionate response?
Okay.
I don't have the answer.
Excellent.
Because I don't know what a proportionate response to 1,300 murders is. When 260 young people at a music festival, most of them peace-loving people enjoying themselves at a festival, when they get slaughtered by people paragliding in with machine guns, I don't know what the proportionate response is.
Piers, let me respond to
So can you tell me?
You've spoken for about 2 minutes. You didn't do that with the ambassador. By the way, I'm just showing you're saying fair, but you're not being fair.
I've said what I want to say.
So let me paint a picture.
I will be fair.
Sure.
I'm genuinely interested in what you have to say.
All right, excellent. You're from Irish descent. You know that there was an IRA
Yes.
in Belfast and so on. Okay, so let me ask you a question now. If there was IRA in Belfast and they were occupying council properties and so on, and then we have a plane of RAF going to destroy that council property, destroy all of Belfast, flatten it, as one representative said, Gottlieb. The IDF said that. One of the IDF members said that we will flatten it completely. That's what we want to do. We don't care about accuracy, he said. We care about damage. That's what he said. You didn't question her about that. But anyway, if the RAF were to then go into Belfast and flatten, as the IDF and these guys want to do, if they want to flatten Belfast with all the white people, I'm going to use the term white, all the white people, council estates living in there, with the excuse that we're doing it because it's proportionate defense to the terrorists. What would you say about that?
Here's what I would say to you.
Is that acceptable or unacceptable?
Here's what I would say to you.
Yeah.
The IRA committed a series of atrocities over numerous decades. They targeted, in their eyes, military and political targets. They usually gave some form of warning, not always.
Okay.
They
were terrorists.
No, they were terrorists.
Sure.
They
He's
never
missing the
ever
point, bro. It's
went
a
out
hypothetical,
one day
dog. Answer the question.
and committed the barbaric slaughter of 30,
Irrelevant.
100. No.
If they did.
I'm sorry, it's not irrelevant.
If they did.
No, Mohammed.
If they did.
Here's why it's not irrelevant.
Okay.
They never did.
But if they did, would you accept the RAF to flatten
By the way,
Belfast?
there were outrages committed by
My question is,
by
if,
the loyalist parliamentaries too.
My question is,
Here's my
if
point.
they did, would you think it's acceptable?
They
or
never
not?
came close to committing an outrage
If
on that
they-
scale.
If
right?
they did, is it acceptable
They
to
never
flatten
went
Belfast?
in and kidnapped grandmothers
Bruh.
or killed babies
If they
in
did,
crates.
is it
He's not
acceptable?
gonna answer
They
the question,
believe they
bro.
were fighting for better or worse, and I believe for worse,
Sure,
and that's
sure.
why I'm glad peace was found.
But I'm
They
asking
believe
if
they were
you're not
fighting
answering my question.
political and military
I'm
targets.
trying to bring it closer to home.
But
to
you're
you.
trying to compare apples and oranges.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
It's you that's doing that.
The only comparison that I would say that we saw from October the
It's not
7th and what
funny,
Hamas
bro,
did
but
is with
Pierce
ISIS.
looks wild right
Excuse me.
now.
It's the only comparison.
Do you mind if I
He looks wild
let me
right
ask you a
now.
question? Let me ask you a question.
It's a hypothetical,
A
cuz.
Palestinian
And
child-
ISIS were taken
Please
out,
let me
by the way, with
you keep interrupting
planes.
me.
No, here's what.
You didn't do this with the ambassador.
I'm going to finish
You did this
the
with Ben
point.
Shapiro, which you gave the show to him.
No, hang on. I'm giving you
Gave
plenty
it-
of time.
No, you're not.
I'm giving you plenty. You asked about the analogy of a plane flying over and targeting.
But you didn't answer my question.
But that did happen, Mohammed, with ISIS.
Would you accept
get rid of-
Belfast to be flattened
No, wait a minute.
or not? Yes
Wait
or no?
a minute. It never happened. So the like for like isn't
It's
relevant.
it's a hypothesis. It's hypothetical.
It's not. I don't do hypotheticals.
You don't do hypotheticals.
No, let's deal with reality.
Okay, let's deal with reality.
Mohammed, let me finish. Then you can answer.
You don't answer the question.
No. Here's the reality.
British public can see this.
Here's the reality,
Yeah.
right? Let's
British
just.
public can see this.
Yeah, they can see it.
Yeah, go on.
Don't listen to
Hey,
debate.
Pierce
Keep
looking
going.
crazy right now.
For what it's worth, I think it's a good debate to have. Right? These are questions many people on the pro-Palestinian side are
He gave
having.
you
I
the,
get it.
bruh,
I get it,
cuz gave
right?
you the perfect hypothetical, dog. Regardless if it fucking happened or not, you should answer that question. He didn't answer it because he couldn't answer it because he would have an issue with it. And if he said yes, he would have an issue with it. He would be a whole hypocrite out here not condemning what the fuck Israel did.
Right? But you're trying to compare what happened on October the 7th with the IRA.
No, I'm not.
I'm
I used
comparing,
a hypothetical
wait a minute, Mum.
question.
I'm comparing it to ISIS. And the way that the
compared
world
ISIS.
in the end dealt
Now
with
he's gonna
ISIS
deflect.
actually was to use airstrikes. And many civilians were killed.
There's a huge
Many
difference between
innocent
the
people
two.
died.
Deflecting,
They're
bro.
not.
He's
You don't
deflecting,
understand it
dog.
because you have no idea of the religious.
What's the difference between what happened on
there's
October the 7th and ISIS?
The difference between-
this ain't going nowhere. It's just pointless, dog. The fact that he didn't condemn innocents' lives lost on the other side. Say you got two fathers, right? Two parents. Both got children. One parent kills the other parent's child. What type of parent or person would you have to be to, in return, kill the other parent's child? And that's essentially what's going on right now. It's essentially what Pierce is saying he's okay with, and what a lot of people are saying that they're okay with, the fact that they killed Israel's women and children. The Palestine's women and children deserve to get killed too.